President Donald Trump says there will be a vaccine against coronavirus by the end of the year 2020, and it will be well distributed.
We're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year, and I think distribution will take place almost simultaneously because we've geared up the military.
The president making a day trip to Allentown, Pennsylvania, his second visit in as many weeks to an election year battleground state. Today, touring a medical supplies company. Mr. Trump choosing not to wear a face mask during his visit, while other government officials did.
The recent encouraging news about vaccine from the Oxford University. It appears there will be a vaccine very soon, just like the President Donald Trump said. And it appears that it has been tested on monkeys, and there was a positive result.
Encouraging news tonight in the race for a vaccine. With that, let's bring in Dr. John Torres. John, what can you tell us?
Lester, Oxford University just released results from a study involving 6 monkeys. So it's small and preliminary, but it found after 4 weeks, the vaccine produced antibodies to COVID-19 in all of the monkeys and prevented them from getting pneumonia when they were exposed to the virus. The control group that didn't get the vaccine got sick, so this is certainly promising. But of course, people may respond differently than monkeys, so this vaccine is also currently being tested in more than 1,000 people, and the first results are expected in June. Lester?
All right, Dr. John.
The potential life-saving plasma called the convalescent plasma. It is an antibody blood transfusion from a recovered patient to a current patient. So far in the United States, people say it's working so far. Just watch this.
In a new report on an experimental treatment that appears to have helped some patients recover. Here's Cynthia McFadden with that.
Tonight, a first look at a promising new report drawn from a nationwide team of more than 5,000 doctors from over 2,000 hospitals and labs, looking at an experimental therapy called convalescent plasma, transfusing the antibody-rich blood from someone who recovered into a current patient.
How encouraged are you by this, Dr. Joyner?
We're very encouraged that the treatment is safe, and that was really the first hurdle for us.
Dr. Michael Joyner is one of the heads of that research consortium, racing to provide data about the safety and effectiveness of the treatment, looking at half of the 10,000 patients nationwide who have now received it. Claudia Garcineau was one of them.
I'm the Chief Nursing Officer, Vice President for Nursing at Mount Sinai, Brooklyn.
A chest x-ray revealed pneumonia in both lungs. Diagnosed with COVID-19, she went home to wait it out. But she kept getting sicker. Her daughter drove her to Mount Sinai in Manhattan. The goodbye painful.
Looking at her and thinking to myself, is this the last time I'm going to see her?
3 days later, she was worse. Her son called with that experimental treatment option.
Mom, great news. They think you can have the plasma. And I was like, do you think I should do that? It's like a transfusion. I'm not sure.
But worried she'd be put on a ventilator, she agreed.
I really wasn't a nurse at that moment. I was really a frightened, sick patient who was worrying about surviving.
Dr. Joyner says the hard data about the effectiveness of the treatment is yet to come. How soon will they have it?
As fast as we can. Our data mining and analytics team is working on the data that we have currently.
But Claudia Garcineau says there is no doubt in her mind. Just over 24 hours after she received the plasma,
I remember taking that first deep breath. I felt like I had oxygen. I felt like I won the lottery.
It really sounds like almost a miracle.
Exactly. Of course, immediately I called my son and I said to him, I think that plasma did it.
Promising results for a nation in need.
Mysterious illness and cases in the United States linked to coronavirus. It is called the multisystem inflammatory syndrome, otherwise known as the MIS-C.
There is breaking news tonight regarding that mystery illness affecting children and now being linked to coronavirus. Late today, the CDC taking steps to track just how many kids are getting sick with multi-system inflammatory syndrome and issuing new guidance to help doctors recognize the illness that so far has been considered rare but is appearing in more and more states. And then Dahlgren.
The alert was sent to thousands of doctors across the country, outlining what the CDC is now calling multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C. The document lays out criteria for the illness, including fever, inflammation, at least 2 organs impacted, and a positive test for COVID-19 antibodies or COVID exposure 4 weeks before the onset of symptoms, which are described as similar to Kawasaki disease, including rash, red eyes or tongue, and abdominal pain.
This is not a subtle disease.
Dr. Jeffrey Burns has been coordinating a group of more than 1,000 doctors comparing notes on the syndrome.
We have linked together these research centers across the United States and now the world rapidly in the last 2 weeks. And we're working as hard as we can to find the answer to this.
Today, New York City confirmed it now has at least 100 cases.
We have to understand it better. We have to get ahead of it.
New York City reached its peak of coronavirus cases on April 6th, about 5.5 weeks ago. So tonight, experts warn other parts of the country could see inflammatory syndrome cases spike between 4 and 6 weeks after their COVID-19 peaks. NBC News has learned at least 19 states are investigating cases of the inflammatory illness, believed to be an overactive immune response. There's no apparent pattern to which kids get sick. In Illinois, Amelia went from a happy 4-year-old to a ventilator in just days.
Everything started filling with fluid in her lungs, her heart.
Her pregnant mom couldn't visit the hospital.
To not be able to put the hands on your child when they're in need.
Like most kids, Amelia is now getting better with treatment, but 3 have died. Doctors say learning more about this rare immune response could ultimately help them understand COVID-19 and develop a vaccine.
I hope more families don't have to do what we had to do.
Hope tonight, a new alert helps them know what to look for. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News, New York.